Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to be doing the weekly read for the sign of Aries. This is going to be for June 24th to July 1st, and we're going to get right into it with your Romance Oracle Angel cards. I'm going to pull 2 cards for you, Aries. So I hope you're doing well, Aries. It's the last week of June. You know, it's summer, officially summer. You know, first half of the year down, second half of the year to come. So I hope things are working out for you. We're going to get your 2 cards. This is going to be the 2 energies to do with whatever dynamic is taking center stage in your life this week, Aries. This could be a romantic relationship, a family relationship, a career relationship, work, friends, whatever. But there's some other person, right, that will dominate, right, or take center stage, whatever that relationship is. That's what we're going to be looking at today, whatever the energies are involved with that. And give us 2 cards for some insight on our lovely Aries, fire sign of the Ram. Show me. All right, Aries, let's get your cards. Your first card is Unrequited Love. Wow. And Retreat. Wow. All right. So, Unrequited Love, Retreat. So, this could mean a lot of things, right? It could be unrequited love on your part or on someone else's part, someone who wants you. Retreat could mean retreating from the world with someone or retreating from the world on your own, right? It could mean friends going away, lovers going away, disconnecting from part of your life and not another part of your life. So we're going to get right into it with your 7 cards, and then we'll clarify these 2 oracle cards for you. Let's see what's going on for Aries, June 24th to July 1st. We want to know affirmations, reaffirmations, warning signs, energies for Aries to move toward or away from. Give us some clarity on these 2 cards, Unrequited Love and Retreat. What's that all about for Aries this week? Show me a clear picture. Show me. So, Aries, 24th June to July 1st. Alright, your center card for your relationship, Aries, is Knight of Pentacles. So my movement due to career or money. 4 of Cups, 9 of Wands, and the High Priestess, 2 of the Major Arcana. They have 3 of Cups. For your person, this is you and your person, 9 of Swords, and Queen of Swords. At the bottom of the deck, you have Death. Wow, Aries. So there's big transformation coming, big changes in your relationship, right, with this person and the dynamic with this person. This week, it's all about movement for money, right? It's all about opportunities coming in. But I feel this nights are quite interesting. A lot of people, you know, simplify nights down to kind of someone coming in or going out. But it's a lot deep, you know, it's a lot more to a night. Sometimes a night can indicate just kind of like the movement within your life, right? Just a constant, you could be going the kind of to and fro, as it were, for money, for jobs, odd jobs, right? The movement that you're making constantly to try to get something started, to get an opportunity going, right? And sometimes we can remain on the horse, right? With the potential of an opportunity, or the idea of an opportunity, but because there's no stationary, no commitment, sometimes it doesn't come to fruition, right? So I don't feel like this is somebody coming into you, Aries. I feel like this is you, Aries, right? So you're kind of you're like kind of the Knight of Pentacles in terms of you're like moving towards your own opportunities, trying to move closer towards your opportunity for abundance, right? And it's taking some time. right? It's taking some time to finally get to a place where the horse can really stop and start to build. That's what I'm talking about. Sometimes you remain, that's why we also say that the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving horse in the deck, right? It takes the longest to climb. Oftentimes that can be because of the back and forth, when you have, certainly when you're always trying to try different jobs, different projects, right? It's this kind of, it's the transience, right? It's the lack of commitment sometimes that makes it take a while before this Knight of Pentacles can come to fruition with any kind of real opportunity of abundance. So this is you moving towards trying to increase your livelihood, increase the money that's coming in, I believe, right now. You really kind of, it could be that you're moving, right? It could be that you're like progressively moving towards a more stable location to live, for instance, right? An example of this would be, for instance, if you've been hopping around from one place to live to the next, right? Nothing's really stayed, you may have stayed 6 months to a year at the longest in any one place, but every place you've gone to has gotten progressively better, right? It's been progressively bigger. You've had to share with less people. You know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. Could very well be that. Could be as well like moving jobs as well. That you really kind of been perhaps doing a lot of different jobs until now you've kind of elevated to a job that's bringing the right kind of money in for you. You may have worked your way up in a place, right? Like a restaurant, for instance, started as a dishwasher, you know what I mean? And slowly took one job for a little while, another job, learned enough about every job, and did well enough at it that you then eventually became like perhaps a manager or something like that. So I feel like you're very much on that path right now. You're almost like your own knight. You're almost, bringing your own type of opportunity to you by methodically plodding away, right? So with relationships right now, you're really kind of not there for it. Four of Cups, you're just not, you're not really thinking about it right now. I don't think you're interested in any relationships coming your way. I don't think anybody right now can really, provide what you want. Four of Cups is very much kind of like being happy to be alone rather than to take an offer that may not be satisfying, may bring with it problems, you know what I mean? Negative energies, fighting, bickering. You know what kind of cup this is, right? It looks like all of the other ones that you've had before that you've been unsatisfied with. And so 4 being the number of stability and maintaining stability, you're quite happy to just stay where you're at and maintain your own sense of stability rather than allow someone to come in and upset that. All right, someone coming in with an offer of a relationship right now, that's certainly an offer that you really can't tell is worth anything, right? It's just really an empty cup out of the thin air, right? They haven't really shown any kind of like, they haven't shown or proven that they will bring any kind of real satisfaction or anything that you're really looking for, right? They've just handed you an offer, right? Thinking that you might take that. And you're just perfectly happy to remain where you're at because you have a sense of stability already. And you simply don't want to upset that with this kind of, with something that's almost like a monkey wrench in your plans, right? You're doing fine on your own. And I think this unrequited love could very much be, we'll see, it could be your person, right? But this is how you're seeing yourself, right? Now, this could also be, it's not so much that you're happy being on your own, but you could also be very stubborn here, Aries. This, the flip side to this is like when you're when you're being just kind of too stubborn, and you're being too judgmental. You've got too many criteria. You know what I mean? It's like you're never, you know what I mean? Nobody's ever like good enough for you to kind of bend to and try to have a relationship with. And so you kind of, sometimes, right? You kind of fool yourself into thinking that you're stable and happy, but the truth of the matter is that you're not. And a lot of that can be just being stubborn, and your stubborn behavior is kind of keeping you from a good relationship. 9 of Wands is here as well. So this is how you see your partner, and there's isolation there, right? So 9 of Wands is all about like, looking back and taking stock at what you've done, and like, looking back on your life, right? And I think when you look at your other person, right, you're kind of feeling as well very much like you don't want the same of what you've had before, right? You remember the relationships you've gotten into before. You're looking back on them, right? And you're very much in a place right now where you're kind of summoning enough energy to kind of move forward out of that period. It's almost as if you're like, look, I just got out of feeling like all screwed up from a relationship, right? I'm just like almost done the healing from that, right? And so I'm not ready to jump into another one, right? I don't think this Four of Cups is you being stubborn, really, Aries. I really think that you're just being like, you just don't want more of the same, and what you had before was just so dissatisfying and negative. And like I said here with Nine of Wands, you're very much like looking back and just feeling like, this person who's in your life has inklings of those type of relationships as well, and you don't want to go back to that. High Priestess is here. And this is how you see a possible relationship with anyone. And it's like, you very much are going by your gut feeling. You're very much like, if it'll be type of scenario. I think right now, you want the universe almost to decide for you, right? It's like one of these where like you're just unwilling to make any forward movements. You're not the one who's willing to reciprocate. You're not the one who's willing to ask them out on a date or anything. If they want you, they have to make all the moves and steps to come towards you, right? And all of the right ones that satisfy your desire, or to satisfy sort of your criteria, right? Because you're just completely, you know what I mean? Because High Priestess is right. High Priestess is very intuitive, psychic energy. It's, high level intuition. She understands, the secrets, right? She studied and understood, the many secrets of life, right? The many theologies, mysticism, right? The crescent moon is at her feet, entwined with her garment, showing like total mastery of the moon and the energies that come with the moon, which are part of that world as well. She stands between the two pillars. So it's like she understands everything and she knows everything, but she's also very cagey. She will not make a move. The High Priestess is the one that you have to go and beg for her to help you, right? Beg for her to assist you. You have to welcome her energy into your life for it to come in, right? It has to be a strong desire for this really strong High Priestess energy to come in, like the opening of chakras and things like that. All of that requires real desire and dedication and a real, a showing of kind of like that you really want it, right? That you're open for it, that you're really ready for it. And it's the same thing here with the High Priestess. So this is what you want in a relationship from this person. Like, look, I'm fine. Aries is fine. Like, you want to be with me. I already feel like I don't need you. Right? You already are giving me signs of like kind of what I've been through before. And right now I'm almost all healed from that. So I'm just not ready. So if you want to have any kind of relationship with me, you just require them to show a lot more than they're showing. Three of Cups, they see themselves as very much like having a whole lot of fun. They're not taking it very serious at all. They're having a whole lot of fun. Your person, I think I almost feel like you're taking them more serious than they're taking you, right? You're pissed off because they're not coming closer to you, but they're kind of not noticing all of this that you're going through, right? They're having a good time. They're doing Three of Cups right now, which is having fun with friends, enjoying themselves, being with like-minded people. They see themselves as being very happy right now. And they don't necessarily see that anything that they've done to you is in any way something that would have even made you think about them necessarily to a certain degree, right? They see you as very much like, they see you as being very upset right now. Another 9, interesting. This is 9 of Wands and 9 of Swords. Whereas you see, it's really interesting. You see them as very much like in the way of you healing, you know, getting your final healing, getting your final 10 of Wands, right? You're looking back and everything you've been through. You've been through some effed up relationships and some trials and tribulations with relationships, right? And you feel like you're doing all of this kind of like work to heal yourself. And you're just, you know, you're just at this kind of last little bit where you're just having to be strong, right? And, you know, do the last little bit of healing, but it takes strength, right? Nines of Wands is when you're taking a little breather, right? Because it's been such a long struggle. So you're taking a little breather, you're taking some stock, but you're getting ready to carry on with this and get to the 10 of Wands and complete that cycle so you can lay it down. But you see your person is kind of standing in the way of that. You know what I mean? Like, you feel almost like you're going to make backwards progress if you deal with this person, right? Because they might hurt you, they might upset you, they might put you through the same thing that you went through before. And you see them as that, and I think you're quite nervous about it. They see you as being really nervous and as, you know, being really upset for no reason. Nine of Swords is anxieties. They see the anxiety that you have. Because this position, the cards in this position represent how you see your other person. So this is how your person sees you, and that's how you see your person. So it's very much like they see you as having a lot of anxiety, but they don't know what you're worried about, right? Because Nine of Swords is anxiety for no reason. It's anxiety not necessarily based on anything real happening or any real danger. It's more like the torment that we put ourselves through, right? With unnecessary guilt, unnecessary kind of like fantasies of what could go wrong, you know. It's just like putting yourself through the torture without any kind of real basis in reality that any of these nightmares or anxieties are going to come true. And so your person very much sees you as kind of like acting like that, you know, just acting a little bit put on. I believe you guys could be friends, right? This is somebody you've been friends with for quite some time. Right? And you're at odds right now. I think you're both quite at odds. And that's why unrequited love and retreat is here. Because I think you've retreated from this person. I think there's been some kind of breakdown of communication here. Because Queen of Swords is here about the relationship. And Queen of Swords is all about having open communication. Right? But the High Priestess, remember I said, is very cagey. She doesn't want to talk. The High Priestess is not about talking. She's not very, you can see, you know, she's not... She's the High Priestess. You come to her, you give her tributes if you want her information. You know what I'm saying? You give her things, you show her your desire and your real want for her knowledge before she even bothers to think about giving you any of her lessons, right? But this queen here is ready to talk and ready to have a lot of communication. So whereas you've pulled back, you've certainly retreated. It's not necessarily sure that your person has retreated. Your person's ready to talk to you. But you're being kind of cagey. You know, and perhaps you are being a little bit stubborn here with Four of Cups. Now that I get to how I see that, how they see you, it could be that you are being a little bit stubborn. This person certainly sees them as someone who's your friend. Because Three of Cups also talks about being with friends. People that you have a tight social bond with, right? Groups of people that you identify with, right? Your identity, who you are is tied in with that group, right? So it's a social bonding that happens with Three of Cups. 3 is the number of bonding and loyalty. So this person feels like a very good friend to you. So it's like they don't understand why you're being so cagey with them, you know, why you're being so like kind of obtuse in a way. And you are very much up in your head about these previous relationships that have kind of screwed you over and assuming the worst, you know. Show me some deeper insight for our lovely Aries, please. I don't know. A little bit more about this reading. Show me. All right, Aries, let's get these extra cards out so we can get a little deeper look at this. You've got, oh, we're upside down side. You've got Two of Swords, Seven of Pentacles, King of Cups, Five of Cups, oops, the Hermit, yeah, of course, and the World. There you go. So at the bottom of the deck you have Ace of Wands. So death and new beginnings all at the same time, right? So something happened. Something came in like a bolt, right? Something came in like an Ace of Wands type of bolt. And it just made everything kind of go wonky. Let's just see here. This Four of Cups, right? So it's this juggling. It's this back and forth, this juggling. You know, and it's like you don't know where you want to be in a way, right? But you don't feel like you have all the information. You're not sure. You know, this Four of Cups is very much a stubborn kind of attitude, Aries, because it's like you're sticking to your guns, right? But you're still not sure. Two of Swords, you're not seeing the whole picture. You're trying to juggle everything, you know? You're trying to juggle two worlds. You're trying to juggle two possibilities. And even though you're kind of sticking to your guns here, you haven't mentally given it up, right? You may be acting like physically, you know, you're acting like you don't want to have anything to do with that cup. But mentally, you're constantly back and forth, back and forth. Seven of Pentacles, yeah, you're looking back on like... So like I said, you know, you're healing. Nine of Wands is healing. It's taking a little breather on the road, right? You just took a, you know, you still have a little bit more work to do, right? On yourself, a little bit more shadow work to do, a little bit more healing. Maybe more people to talk to about certain things that happened in the past, or maybe there's a few other things that you need to get closure from, right? There may be other relationships or people that you need to have closure from or closure with. That's what we mean by taking a break sometimes, right? It's like you've been doing a lot of work on yourself and like, you know, forgiving yourself, you know, maybe apologizing, maybe changing behavior patterns, right? Changing kind of the way you knee-jerk behave. All of these things are the things that we do along a very long and difficult road of healing, okay? And sometimes we get tired of doing all of those things, right? We get tired of always being the good guy. We get tired of always taking the high road. We get tired of always, like, you know, having to face our demons and having to have those difficult conversations. It's a very long road. And that's how we feel when the Nine of Wands comes up. And that's what I mean when I say taking a break. You just want to take a quick break. You don't want to be the guy that has to be perfect, or the woman that has to be perfect, or that has to be, you know, completely spiritually aligned before, you know what I mean? You just want to take a break from having to answer to anyone or like to work on any deep, right, issues for a second. You know, God forbid a family member could give you like 2 months break without calling you. Do you understand what I mean? That kind of thing, right? So you're taking a break. And like I said, you know, you're summoning your energy to probably close off some karma, right? And so you can lay these burdens down when you get to your Ten of Wands. And you see your person as very much probably being in the way of that. Now, earlier, like what I said, though, you're back and forth. You're back and forth because then also you have Seven of Pentacles here. So you also see your person as possibly being part of a future. Because Seven of Pentacles talks about looking at, like, your dreams and your aspirations and which ones you've accomplished thus far, right? What have you accomplished thus far, and what do you intend to accomplish in the future? And so you're still thinking about this person in your future kind of plans, right? You're still thinking about the possibility of being with this person. Yet you also feel, you know, like this person could hamper your healing. So you're very much in two minds about someone, Aries. And I think that you're feeling like, and I think the reason why is because at one point you guys were very good friends and something happened, right? And it's made you be in a place where you really don't know what your feelings are anymore. You know, you don't know which way to go, right? You don't want to lose a friend. You don't want to lose a possibility of a relationship. And you also don't want to lose yourself by getting into something that's negative. King of Cups is here to clarify that High Priestess. Yeah, you want them to come into you with a cup of love. You want them to come, like I said, High Priestess, they must do everything. And this is King of Cups. They have to present like King of Cups. They can't even present like Knight of Cups, who's flighty and uncommitted. They must come like King of Cups with the full cup of love, you know, and really, you know, you're just unwilling to budge otherwise. You're not willing to go toward them. You're not willing to tell them how you feel about them. I'm not even sure if you're willing, if you know how you feel about them, to be honest with you. I know you want them in your lives, and you also are afraid to have them in your lives. Right? And so you're wanting it to be dictated by them, by how much they come to you. If they come to you with love, then you're willing to go for it. If they don't, then you're willing to let it go. They have to cover them how they see themselves. It's like I said, they see themselves as being part of a group, a social group that you're a part of, friends. They're very happy. You know, they're not really necessarily seeing anybody or in any kind of like thoughts about a committed relationship, right? And Five of Cups, it's like they're healing themselves from past relationships, right? They're not in any kind of rush to get into any kind of relationships. They have Five of Cup energy as well. So this explains why they're very much being social, being sociable, not necessarily being committed right now, because they're dealing with kind of their own like baggage, right? So they're not in any kind of state to come towards you. They really don't want to necessarily. And just as you're going through your healing process, they're also, you know, they're the wrong person to wait to come into you, is what I'm saying, Aries, because they're dealing with their own issues and they're not going to come into you the way you need them to or want them to. So if you're unwilling to budge, or if you're unwilling to give an inch, right, or to give them some kind of like indication that you want a relationship with them, they may very well never give you what you want or give you any indication. The Hermit is here, and like I said, yeah, they see you as having a lot of anxiety, a lot of worries, being very isolated. They see you as hermiting yourself away, isolating yourself to a certain degree, right? And it could be very well that, because Nine of Wands also talks about being quite isolated from people, being at that stage in your life where, you know, it's a 9 card. This is the third. Major Arcana 9 is Hermit, and you have 2 9s from the suit. So there's a lot of kind of solitary work happening. You know, you may certainly not be as sociable as they're being right now. You know, you may work around a lot of people, but you're not as really sociable as they are. You certainly don't see yourself as that. And they certainly see you as being quite separating yourself away, pulling away, anxiety, having a lot of anxiety. Like I said, they see they see a whole world. They see a broader picture, right? So the World card is very much about like, you know, just understanding that you are on your path. This person is, you know, they're not thinking about all of this stuff, you know, and they're not going to come into you the way you wish them to, Aries. When, you know, if you're waiting for this, then I don't see this person doing this, because they are so on their path. They have the World card for them and how they see relationships. So, you know, and this relationship, right? So they have a broader picture, a broader aspect, right? They see their whole life pattern in front of them. They're willing to communicate, and they're not willing to deal with any kind of falseness. You know, people pretending there's something that they're not. People who are too afraid to admit to their feelings. People who play, they're not there for that at all. At all. So if you're not able to admit your feelings to them, they're not going to be there for that. If you're wanting them to make all the moves towards you because you're afraid you may get hurt, they're not going to do all of that, because they're kind of past that. They're ready to get on with their life. Right? And they see, you know, like, it's like one of those scenarios, like, if you can get out of this kind of hang up and have the conversation that you need to have with your person, then you can get to a lot of truth, and you guys may both find yourself, you know, kind of in the world, right? But there's a death happening here. There's a death of this relationship. So like I said, something came in, something changed, some dynamic, and this relationship just completely changed, right? Just completely changed. And you guys aren't on the same page, right? And you have a possibility here of waiting for someone to come in who is never going to come in, who's never even thinking about you in that way, and who then moves away from this Five of Cups to just get on with their lives because you've refused to move towards them. All right. So this is your weekly, Aries. I hope it resonates with some of you out there. Yes, you have certainly retreated, and yes, there's been some unrequited love, but I almost wonder if that's on your part. I'm thinking that the unrequited love is on your part. I think deep down inside you do have feelings for this person, but the problem is that you're waiting for them to come to you, and you're just unwilling to go to them. And so at the end of the day, you're the one who's suffering, and they're the one who's getting on with their lives. All right, so you have to make some decisions about how you want to move forward. I love you so much, Aries. This is for June 24th, July 1st. If this resonated with you, sound off below in the comments. Let me know what you're going through. Let me know why, if this is what's happening with you, why are you afraid to move forward to your person? I'd love to hear what's going on. But for right now, this is Bow and Arrow Tarot. I'm going to tell you, have a wonderful last week of June. Bye-bye, Aries.